Welcome back. We are ready to witness another semifinals. This time around, it's ZVZ, Zerg versus Zerg, Shopify, Rebellion Lambo, and BASILISK Reynor. Welcome back, guys. And I don't know, because you always put this jacket on to flex a little bit. It's a little bit funny.
It's not a flex, it's just comfortable.
Nice, I like that. So, okay. Let's go to the match slightly. So you must be feeling a little bit worried because it's Reynor. He's super good, obviously. But you are his coach. Therefore, you spoke with him a lot about the game, about how he approaches the game, etc. So you know more or less how he thinks. And would you say that helps you or adds a little bit more of a confusion?
Yeah, that's something. I'm not sure if it helps or not, because it also helps him if I tell him something about ZVZ, obviously. I think it works both ways. It makes for mind games.
Yeah, that's what I like, honestly, about ZVZ. We might see a lot of cancels, a lot of weird stuff. And what will you say to your coach? Is it going to be a quick series, a lot of mind games? What's going to happen, more or less?
I don't know, man. Sometimes I like to turn my brain off. So if I don't know what I'm thinking, it definitely doesn't know either. So.
Nice, okay. Maybe the mind games already started, you never know. Let's go, Reynor against Lambo. Please shake your hands and let's go.
That's gonna be fun. I played some FIFA with them on the Friday night. I had a very epic match with Lambo. I took him down the first match with Barcelona. He was Byron. And he said he couldn't stand my whining and shit-talking. So the second match, he wanted to have the same team as me. And he took a 2-0 lead. Then I actually came back to 2-2, and he had a red card, and I went all out. We played $20 per game. Or $20 for a best of 3, actually. And I still threw, even though it was 2-2, 11 against 10, I still lost. And then I lost the third game as well. He got lucky, though. It was 2-1 in the last game. It was some feisty FIFA action. Reynor doesn't know much about football, but he played with the all-star team, and he fell in love with Cafu. Reynor had one strategy with FIFA, and that is give the ball to Cafu and run across the entire pitch and try to score. Reynor was playing against Showtime. They had some good games. Yeah, he did score. That was his entire build. Give the ball to Cafu and score. It was fun. They had a really cool setup. Like the player lounge at EWC is awesome. It's basically like a big convention room in the Hilton, and it's just filled up with computers, like nice couches, a bunch of PlayStations, fridges, and then like 20 PCs as well. And a couple of the guys were playing Starcraft against each other. Like no setup, just random against random and that kind of stuff. It looked like everybody was having fun. I was a little bit jealous because our hotel was very nice, but we had nothing there. It's just food. Coffee, water, alcohol-free beer, and lots of food. That's all we were doing. What a weird keyboard from Lambo. Yeah, we discussed it earlier. It is the Posey keyboard. It's Cafu. Cafu is a legend from the 90s, basically. When I grew up and I watched Brazil beat the Netherlands, I think in 94, Cafu was probably playing. And maybe Cafu also played in the World Cup of 98. But yeah, Cafu was very good. But in the FIFA, he was a little bit too good. He was literally impossible to get off the ball, and he was mega quick. And I don't remember Cafu being that quick, but it is over 20 years ago, so what do I know? You grew up? Well, yes. I mean, in the 90s, I was like 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, so yeah. I'd like to think I'm a bit older now. I know you also discussed it earlier, but I missed the answer. Which brand of mice? Yeah, I don't know what they're playing with right now. But you guys can see the holes in the mouse. I know that Glorious has a lot of mice like that, but it's not a Glorious mouse. It's just Serral uses it too. And they both play with the same mousepad, the Japanese mousepad that Mixu was talking about earlier. They all fell in love with this Japanese mousepad, and I think Lambo has a different mouse these days, but I'm not totally certain. Artisan, yeah. Artisan Japanese mousepad. I don't know about the mouse. It is very low friction, yeah. They go for the slowest of the versions as well, so whatever is available. That's what they play with. Alright guys, best of 5, upper bracket semi-finals. The winner of this series will play in the upper bracket final against Clem. This day is probably going to go on forever. I really don't know how much longer I can keep the energy levels up, but we're going to do our best. Top left side, it is Shopify Rebellion's Lambo. Bottom left side, the man who said he was going to turn off his brain for this best of 5, it is Reynor. Who has the weirdest setup? I don't think anybody has a very weird setup, but I guess I would say that Lambo's half keyboard is the weirdest thing. Arstem and Lambo both use it. And then there are a few streamers that also use it. Reynor had one and he tried it for a little bit. He played 1 or 2 events with it, but Reynor went back to a normal keyboard. What's the name of it? The keyboard is called Posy. We had the link earlier. Just type in like Posy keyboards in Google and then you can find it. And mousepad is Artisan. Will a split keyboard catapult you from Diamond to Grandmaster? If that keyboard allows you to play Protoss, there's a good chance, mate. I don't know what you're playing currently, but go to the half keyboard, warp in a couple Zellos, and you should be good to go. Early Baneling Nest on the side of Lambo. I obviously spoke a little bit with Lambo about the games of Reynor versus Serral. And the first game, if you guys remember, I think it was Spy Island, right? Game 1, Reynor against Serral. Reynor went for the Ling Bane aggression in the opening phase. Serral skipped the Baneling Nest, went straight into Roach Farm, and in Lambo's eyes, that is supposed to be a free win for Reynor. Reynor apparently didn't practice that build a whole lot. Lambo told him to go for it. And basically, Reynor made a big mistake, and that's also something I pointed out when I was sitting in the crowd watching with a couple of the other guys, that Reynor took the fight already when it was just Lings against Ling Queen. And that gave Serral a pretty good trade initially, and then by the time that Reynor, his Banelings showed up, like the Baneling connections were okay, they weren't the best, they weren't the worst, but because he already lost so many Links, it was going to be a bit difficult. Now, Reynor is not playing the same way as Serral did, as Reynor does have his own Baneling nest. He's morphing 4 defensive Banelings. He has spotted the morphing Banes of Lambo too. I don't think Lambo is going to get a whole lot done here. Maybe like, unless somebody obviously messes up in a big way, but these guys don't really mess up in a big way. I was loving those Ling Bane skirmishes on Tokamak, by the way, between Reynor and Serral. I thought both of them displayed spectacular micro for a long time. Playing on a knife's edge, so close to the big Baneling connections over and over again. Zerglings in mineral lines on creep. Like, I can't think of anything more stressful to micro, but it was awesome to watch. Reynor is now the one counterattacking, as Lambo has droned up pretty heavily after his initial aggression. Is not quite ready for this. Is going to end up losing a queen. Wasted a Baneling there as well. Actually a little bit worried here for Lambo, guys. It's not looking too hot. Reynor is hiding a couple Zerglings in the corner. Would obviously love to morph them into Banelings, but that shouldn't work. This should not work. I feel like Lambo saw it, guys. Lambo did see it, but now he's going away. Lambo. Oh, could be a bit of that lack of sleep coming into play right now. Also supply blocked. 5 Overlords on the way. Bunch of Banelings explode in the middle of nowhere. Here come Reynor, his Banelings, and Reynor already creating a pretty big lead for himself in game 1. In my eyes, yes, Frostwall. Obviously, Reynor Maru was fantastic. I thought Beyond against Zaun was a very exciting series. Lambo against Beyond in the play-ins was amazing, especially game 3. I really thought Lambo had it. But for me, the absolute crown jewel of the event was the ZVZ between Reynor and Serral. I think that was the best. And I'm sure that a lot of you guys agree with that. Almost everybody, I think. Not a very hot take. I'm out of hot takes, guys. Lambo does have a pretty quick spire. I wonder what Reynor is going to do about it. He is making a decent amount of roaches. You guys think Reynor is just gonna drop a Hydra then immediately? Right now, it doesn't have much of an economic lead, army supply lead. I don't know what the observer is doing there. We saw Bailing connect, but he's like, I'm not gonna show it to you guys. It's like, all right. Lambo is worried about the mass Roach Ravager attack that is potentially incoming from Reynor. That's why he's got a couple spines on the way, but 7 Mutalisk already. That's a decent amount. So Lambo's gonna lose the second over here, adds up. I think we cancelled. Oh, we cancelled both of them at the absolute last second. And Cure's victory on Ultra Love was amazing too. I obviously would have not called that when they were working with similar army supplies, similar upgrades. But Cure was down over 20 workers. I didn't quite think Cure was going to win that game, you know. Is this your house or a hotel? Definitely not a hotel. No, this is where I live, mate. This is the place that I always stream from. I have moved around a little bit. I was used to sit on the other side. TV used to be on this wall. But I've been here for many years. When does the GOAT play? Serral is not playing in this event. Serral is currently still in Saudi Arabia. As if you win a EWC championship, you get invited to have lunch with the prince. So Serral is going to stick around for 2 days. And I think that lunch was today, so maybe he goes home tomorrow. Serral eating good. I hope he's eating good. Honestly, it doesn't look too bad for Lambo at this point. But how this game started, and it felt like it was in a bit of pressure. Not too bad, right? It's also not fantastic, because he's playing Muraling Bane, and Reynor is already on 4 bases, and should be able to save this hatch if he wants to. A little bit surprised we don't have a sport crawler here. That's honestly pretty nice for Lambo. And now Lambo is the one who's on 4 bases. Reynor down to 3. Reynor has dropped the Lurker then. Lurkers are amazing against Banelings. It is incredibly hard for the Banelings to get dream connections on Hydras if there are a bunch of Lurkers to worry about. You got to Japan? You didn't? So you've been in Sweden all this time and then you've gone to Japan? I thought you were gonna come to the Netherlands, mate. Vicky was so excited to see you. She was counting down the days. When is Josh stopping by? When are we gonna have sushi? You already left Europe without visiting Vicky. She's gonna be heartbroken. You thought Reynor had a world championship? He does. He won Katowice in the COVID year. Banelings looking for dream connections. I don't think this is the fight for Lambo, by the way, guys. That is above a Spore Crawler, above 1 million Hydras. The Banelings, we do have a couple of extra Banelings showing up, but most of the Mutalisk have already died. 20 drones are dying on the other side of the map. I think Lambo's kind of dead. I think Lambo knows it. The Roaches with Thundering Claws have done an amazing job. Great multitasking coming out of Reynor here in Game 1. Looking a little better than he did in his first series. Reynor got a little lucky, guys. Against Mana. That should have been a Mana victory. Is that a tribute to Piggy? We do know that Piggy loves his roaches. Dark and roaches. That's what it's all about for Pig. GG gets called. Lambo took a little too much economic damage. Could not recover from that. Decided to full send it with the Muda Ling Bane. Above the Spore Crawler, above that many Hydras, obviously becomes very difficult. What does offline mean regarding an event? It just means in person, because you're obviously still playing on Battle.net, so it's technically not LAN or offline. But when Starcraft 2 fans talk about an offline event, what we are currently watching, 2 people sitting in the same room next to each other in front of a crowd. Doesn't have to be a crowd, but basically offline means in person. Are those rings performance enhancing? Never really paid attention to it, but now you guys keep talking about it. Now it's all I will be able to see. Ego enhancing. Be nice, guys. Let the kid have a couple rings. If he gets happy from having a few rings, let him have a few rings. What's the big deal? This is indeed in Poland. Clem, Lambo, and Reynor flew straight yesterday in the evening from Saudi Arabia to Dubai, and they were supposed to have a 1 hour transfer, and then they would fly from Dubai to Krakow and arrive kind of late at night, go to sleep and be fresh. Unfortunately, that didn't work because they had a delay. So the airline thought they were never going to make the second flight, so they took them off the flight list. In the end, they did make it, so they stood in front of the gate and they're like, hey, this is our flight. And they said, sorry, we took you off the list because we didn't think you would make it. They're like, what the fuck? And then they got offered a hotel and a 7 a.m. flight instead. So this morning they boarded their plane at 7 a.m., arrived at noon, and here we are, playing video games all day. Had to wake up probably at 4:45 or 5 a.m. to make it to the flight. Very inconvenient, but a big shout out to the Warriors for pulling through and making it and putting on a show for us. I actually had the same flight as Showtime yesterday night. Showtime flew from Riyadh to Amsterdam and then Amsterdam probably to Frankfurt. I don't know where he had to go. And when he heard the story of the guys, he was like, oh my God, I'm so happy I didn't go. He's like, I was already feeling that like back-to-back events would be a bit too much. And I was like, I'm sure it would be great, but maybe next time. And then he heard about the travel pain of the guys. And Showtime was like, I'm so happy I didn't go. Was the hotel nice that they stayed in? I assume that they get a nice hotel, yeah. I feel like it would be very hard to find a bad hotel at the Dubai airport. So I assume they were well taken care of, but I wasn't there, so I can't say. Yes, they had the exact same conditions. Clem, Reynor, and Lambo all went through the exact same thing. They were flying together, they had the delays together, they arrived together. How is Saudi as a travel destination from your experience in EWC? I think it's really awesome. It is a massive city. It is very, very, very stretched. I never recognize anything other than the financial district. But the Riyadh Boulevard is amazing. All the flashy buildings are amazing. And the locals are incredibly nice. No, Josh. I just fly the flight that ESL gives me. ESL books my flights for those events because I'm not really there for Basilisk, right? I'm there as a caster for ESL. So then ESL is the one who takes care of the flights. Have you been to Shenzhen? Yes, I have. Quite a few times. In Riyadh, I stayed in the Hilton Olaya. The hotel that I stayed at is the Hilton Olaya. It's nice, but that was just a bit boring. All the players stay at the Hilton Granada. And that one is very nice because it's A, close to a massive mall that you can just walk to. Has a million great restaurants. And B, they have the player lounge where they have all the PCs and they can chill and they can vibe and hang out. Our hotel didn't have any of that. It was very nice, but just not a lot to do. I prefer, like, the second year that I went to Saudi, we stayed in the Hilton Granada too. And I really liked it. I prefer that one, even though it's a bit further away from the venue, so that's maybe a tiny bit annoying. But I did prefer that. It was just more fun. What's the best hotel you've stayed at when working an event? I've gotten very lucky. I've stayed in a lot of very nice places. I'd say maybe the Intercontinental at the Coex Mall in Seoul. Blizzard put me in that hotel for GSL vs. The World. That one is one that really stands out. Also the one that we stayed in Xi'an. I don't know what the name of that was, but it was super nice. I've gotten very lucky, but I think those two stand out the most. The Intercontinental in Seoul was amazing. I don't know what the price of that would be, but that's something I would never, ever, 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 ever book myself. I'll tell you that much. I've obviously stayed in very nice hotels in Vegas, too. Like, I think the Bellagio is awesome. Yeah, no, the Blizzard always put us in really nice places. Only, like, if we had tiny European events, it was sometimes... It was never bad, but sometimes it was very simple. But especially also in Anaheim, like when we went to BlizzCon, the convention center, we always stayed in the Hilton or the Sheraton there. Those were amazing too. Blizzard used to do a lot of nice things for us. Reynor is the one who is going to be aggressive first with a couple of links. Lambo's trying to get the roach count up. Trying to save his roaches, morphing it into a Ravager. That is a close call. I mean, the fact that it finishes up might actually be painful, right? And now you're just going to lose it. Did take down a couple of extra links. At the same time, Lambo loses an Overlord on the other side of the map. Beast X Mouse? Okay. I have no idea what the Beast X Mouse is. You never had a bad experience at a Hilton? Unfortunately, Artosis is currently experiencing a very bad experience, but I'm sure you guys will hear about that by the time Artosis gets home. But these events in general, we're all very lucky. Players are lucky. When I was a player as well, myself, I was very lucky too. In the Warcraft 3 days, they were already very good to me. I stayed in some really shitty places too. Stayed in like a hostel once with like 7 strangers. And I was afraid to close my eyes because I really felt they were going to steal all my shit. That was not very nice, having to play a Warcraft 3 tournament the following day. But when I made it to some bigger events, I got lucky. Clem won 3-1. Badabrot. 3-1 for Clem. Artosis is in Canada right now. I think that's where he wants to be, but I don't think he's there yet. Unfortunately, no. He was supposed to be. It hasn't quite worked out. I think it varies per city, right, Jurko? Like, I wouldn't mind it if I'm young and I'm not bothered by anything, but it does need to feel safe. If you don't feel safe, then it just fucking sucks, because then what the fuck are you doing there? And I think it was in Brussels. I mean, obviously Brussels is an absolute shithole. But then imagine a hostel. Oh no, it was Antwerp, sorry. I mean, a little bit better, but not a whole lot better. I was afraid to close my eyes because I knew they were going to probably run away with my backpack. That was not very good. Well, I was young. 19, 20, 21, whatever. You didn't like Brussels when you went? I honestly don't think anybody should like Brussels. If you ever meet somebody in real life and they're like, I went to Brussels and it was beautiful. Don't trust that person. They're setting you up. I don't know what their long con plan is, but they're setting you up. Don't believe their lies. Lambo is ahead on upgrades. At least for a little while longer. Reynor, however, is not too intimidated. Is just going to go for it. It's a bit of a hectic fight. Kind of feel that Lambo should have the numbers. This fight shouldn't be all that bad for Lambo. Lambo is counting down the seconds until he can get his hands on +2 missile attacks. And I'm starting to think that this game, guys, looks pretty freaking good for Lambo. Reynor is going to try to flex his multitasking muscle, but Lambo's going to answer for those links as well. That's impressive. Lambo is a full upgrade ahead. He's down a couple workers, but he's a full upgrade ahead. Honestly, Magnus, it pains me to say it, but I actually think Brussels is quite a bit worse than Amsterdam. Yes, that is the one that I've heard is very nice as well. Oh, I went once to Bruges. In Dutch we say Brugge, so I don't really know how to say it in English, but that is a nice city. What is not nice for Reynor is that 4 Ravagers are in absolute no man's land, and 3 out of the 4 die immediately. Reynor is in real trouble here. Down an upgrade, bleeding out a couple expensive Ravagers for very little. I haven't been to Antwerp in forever, so I don't know. But I don't think it's very nice. Honestly, Belgium is just not that nice. Maybe Knokke is nice. Knokke. You know, like Knokke, Dunkirk. I know Dunkirk is French, I guess, but whatever. Close enough. There's a couple nice cities. What is that? Bleekseberg or something? I don't know. Blankenberge, sorry. Blankenberge. Blankenberge is nice in Belgium. I've not been to Ireland, but do you know Kinderschains? I assume that you watch EWC. Sandstorm, the host that was hosting together with Rachel, he actually lives in Ireland. I had no idea until he said the word Ireland, and I was like, now I hear it. It's like, I'm from Ireland, mate. I was like, oh, sick. I didn't know. Yeah, it wasn't very good. Flores is absolutely still living in Poland. He loves Poland. Rightfully so. He would have loved to go to this event. He said he was incredibly sad. But Flores is currently still in Saudi Arabia because he will do 3 games there. He will do PUBG, PUBG Mobile, and Starcraft 2. Lambo shows up once more with a lot of roaches. No overseer in the mix, so you can't actually see all those drones that have just burrowed. The hatch that you guys were upset over that he didn't finish off, he does finish off now. Reynor on the other end is also finding a lot of success. This ZVZ is going to get a little messy and a little scrappy. Reynor has tied up the upgrades, so no longer working with an upgrade deficit. I feel like a lot of Ravages is a good choice here, no? In this kind of a game where it's very unlikely anybody's going to get Lurkers anytime soon, Lambo says, you know what? Spire, baby. Good work. Apollo still works for ESL, yes. He has a high-up job in regards of the Esports World Cup. He's very, very involved in the Esports World Cup. Honestly, I think Apollo doesn't love us anymore because he's basically going to be in Saudi Arabia for 9 out of the 10 weeks that it's running. The 1 week, he's back in England. You guys guessed it, last week. So we didn't see him. He did send me a voice message. He's like, sorry about that, mate. I was like, yeah, Sean, I'm a little hurt, but... Yeah, no, he's still with the ESL Faceit group. He's got a official title, but I forgot what it is. It is something about pleasing high-ups, partner, manager, whatever. Did Reynor see the spy? That's a good question. I didn't see it, sorry. But that is obviously very important. Based on everything that's happening currently on the production tab, I would say Reynor has not seen the spire. He is going to build his own spy, though. This could be a kind of game where Reynor will actually build Corruptus, but it's going to take a little while before he can ever build Corruptus. Lambo, however, is suffering from success. DJ Khaled, he's maxed out. So he can't make any mudas. Lambo indeed needs to fight. Spams a couple of corrosive balls, but it's so difficult to get up a ramp. You also have to be careful though. You can't really lose a fight by like 30 units. Because then Reynor will just counterattack immediately and kill even more drones and kill even more bases. And then he will have a answer at home. But yeah, since Lambo is down 11-12 workers, I agree. We need to go, go, go. Pedal to the metal. The man from the Shopify Rebellion, down 0-1 in his upper bracket semifinals, needs to make something happen, and he's going to try to push the issue here. Reynor is looking really good here now. Isn't this impressive by Reynor? Especially since he was behind in this game. Was an entire upgrade behind, and he really had no real lead. By the way, this is a map that pro gamers will say is absolute bullshit. Because if you spawn on the top side of the map, you have less mineral income. Bottom is best, right side is so-so, and if you spawn at the top, you mine less. And Lambo is obviously a man who cares about the tiny details, so he probably was tilted already loading into this game. I knew I was going to get top spawn. That's what the little voice said in the back of his head. Reynor is going to counter Mudas with Mudas. We're going to fight fire with fire. That's a lot of Mudas already on the side of Lambo. Reynor lands a goal. Oh my goodness, that was good, no? He absolutely got a couple there. It's hard to say how many he got exactly. But there must have been at least 2 or 3. And that's obviously always nice. Reynor just looking for somewhat of a decent trade while getting his own Mutalisk. And Lambo's probably getting kind of excited. Like, you mate, this is going somewhere. But he's about to run into 20-something Mutalisk of Reynor. And that's going to be incredibly difficult. I'd love to see the Muta count right now. 18 against 16. That's kind of close. And the units on the ground are very useful, because they can actually soak up the bouncing glaives. And of course, Lambo has +1 flyer attacks. Maybe retreating would have been a better choice for Reynor and actually go Corruptus. But Reynor says, F it, we're doing it with the Mudas. It is Muda against Muda, but Lambo has more roaches on the ground. But he does not feel confident he can take that fight. Few of his Mutalists were low on HP. Lambo's supply is dropping rather quickly. He is trying to land his own corrosive balls. What a hectic fight. Good lord, figuring out what is happening here. I'm counting pixels and I'm counting mudos, and it seems like Reynor's got a little bit more. GG gets gold. Impressive game by Reynor, because he absolutely was in trouble. But he turns it around. Reynor just looks good at the moment, man. His multitasking is good. He's on point. He's sharp. He's fast. I think he has looked good in a lot of the tournaments he played lately. They just haven't gone his way. Perhaps today is the day. And that's also because we are watching a stream. In-game, that would have been a little bit more clear. But because we are watching a stream, it's a bit of clusterfuck. Kumachi! And Pie. And Kneehead. And Winghand. Is that German humor, guys? We're just holding up a white piece of paper and pretend there is something on it. Those Germans, man. Honestly, hilarious. Or we had it in the wrong way. I don't know what that was. German humor or... I don't know. Thanks again, Scuffler, for the 6 months, mate. 7 in total. Welcome back. Hope you're having a good day. See that the Spanish ladies are beating the British ladies. Sorry, 1 second. I'm getting invited to play padel on Friday morning, but can't make it. Next week. At the Esports World Cup 2026, we better be looking sexy. It's about time. The journey starts tomorrow. Let's do it. Round 3. Second semifinals.
Let's get it on.
Hey, how is Gerald against SOS looking, by the way? No one is telling me anything. I need you guys. I can't do it alone. Bottom left side of Toka Mech, as we are watching this one-day $10,000 event happening live in Krakow, Poland. Taking a look at a Lambo representing the Shopify Rebellion. Going up against his good friend, my teammate, my boy, representing BASILISK. It is Reynor. Gerald beat SOS as well. Damn. SOS actually looked good lately, so I'm a little bit surprised to see him lose back-to-back PvPs. Yeah. It's PvP. What can you do? They should be a lot better as well, Vondro. But the English ladies have ran very good this event. They should have been eliminated like 6 times and somehow they're still alive. So perhaps something magical can happen in the second half. But I'm not watching. I don't have it on. Yeah, that is a little bit sad, Doggy. But hopefully he's having a good time. I believe he played football yesterday with Elaser and a couple of the other guys. He always loves playing football with the Europeans. And obviously his team is one of the sponsors of this event. Stream is on. So hopefully it's just a nice opportunity for SOS to hang out with everybody and still have a good time. Even if it didn't go his way. Thank you to Nidzarino for the 26 months. If Reynor wins this game, the next series on the mainstream should be Reynor against Clem. Do you guys think they're gonna hit us with the best of 7 upper bracket finals? Or this is gonna be the longest stream of the year for me, man. We are nowhere near the end and we've been live for 8 hours. Oh well. Rookie numbers. It's good to be back. We're saving the month of July a little bit here. Thank you, Marina, mate, for the 131 months. I can imagine that they would want... I am sure that the gamers will say as well at one point, right, like, hey guys, respect the show, but let's not try to be here until 3 a.m. Especially not with the day that Clem, Lambo, and Reynor have had. I'm sure they'll play a lot of series at the same time. And I mean, it's going to be at least midnight, I think. Or very close to midnight, but hopefully that is it. Tappa, yes, if you go to Liquipedia, I think Reynor got 30,000, if I recall that correctly. I think quarterfinals you get 30k. If you take 4th place, you get 40. If you take 3rd place, you get 60. 2nd place, 100. And the winner got 200. 200, 100, 60, 40, 30. I think it's very respectable. I think we can be very happy with that. I would absolutely sign immediately for the same price pool for next year, but would even love a bit more. I'd love to come back next year. How much did you get from coaching Serral to win it all? 0. There is no bonus for me in there, but it's obviously very good for the team, and that makes me incredibly happy. Clem got 400k last year. The 50k was a bonus award for MVP. But yes, last year the overall prize pool was $1 million. This year it was 700k. That is correct. Any big upcoming tournaments planned? We're watching it. After this, I don't really know. I'd honestly be totally fine with keeping 700k. That's not bad. I think it probably has something to do with... what was the overall prize pool of DreamHack Dallas? Because I think EWC funded all of DreamHack Dallas as well. So, they probably paid for that too. What is the MVP? How do you measure that? Hey, England scored. The MVP, they just gave it to whoever looked best or was most impressive. And they decided to give it to Clem. Yep, they obviously paid the online stuff as well. Dallas was 50k overall. Thought it was a bit more than that. But makes sense. Thank you, Cyan. Thank you around the BAM. I appreciate it, guys. I guess it's 50k, but the entire top 4 qualifies for EWC, which guarantees 17k, so it makes it a big event. There is no hint. Like, there's nobody, guys, that is going to pull me aside at EWC and be like, hey, keep it between you and me, but you're coming back next year. That's not really how it works. I don't have those connections. Nobody has that conversation with me. But you do obviously like hear some stuff, and then people from the EWC Foundation, and they show up, and they're excited, and then you hear more excited stuff coming out of different corners, and then they say that the game is performing well, and that obviously gives you a lot of hope. But nothing is like confirmed or anything. I don't think they gave out an MVP bonus this year. I didn't hear anything about it. Lambo is creating a little German autobahn for himself. Reynor has 18 drones more, but there's not a very big army supply lead for Lambo. And with the defender's advantage, I kind of believe in Reynor's chances of potentially holding this. But obviously he's going to have to micro very well. Here we go. Reynor Lambo. Round 3. Can Reynor hold? Honestly, I kind of think Reynor can hold, even if he's still down a little bit in the army supply. We've got spines coming online. Defender's advantage. Can it make the difference? Reynor could have pulled the drones, by the way, when he had a lot of units. Decides not to do it. And now Lambo with +1 missile attacks is starting to look pretty good. The spines are almost done. The queens are hitting some transfusions, though. That's obviously very nice. Maybe Lambo's got enough. +1. Surprised Reynor didn't pull the drones earlier. With those spines on the way and having such a big work lead, he's going to pull them now, but he barely has any DPS. Well, we got a spine. We got a couple of roaches. Can the drones make the difference? I'm afraid it's a bit too late. I think Reynor has lost a few too many roaches before pulling those workers. And Lambo, with a razor sharp timing, gets it done. 49 drones and a German autobahn, baby. Das Autobahn. Der Autobahn. Die Autobahn. Ich habe geautobahnt. Reynor not happy with that. I know, guys. I'm just joking. I know. I know that you can say ich habe geautobahnt. My German is not that good, but I know that's not a thing. Du Drecksau. Totally autobahnt. Probably 200k. No, I've never driven that fast. Maybe actually in Vegas once. When you drive from LA to Vegas, there's literally no one. Driving through the desert, 0 cars at night. Or from Vegas to LA, you know, when you're very sad, you lost all your money. You know, I just want to get home. Maybe I reached 200. But I don't have any info about WTL now. I wouldn't necessarily say that it's dead, but it's obviously been a long time since we had WTL. I think they're trying to figure it out. That is why the little Chinese scene scandal with Firefly does not help. Because the Chinese scene was obviously already hurting a bit with the retirement of Oliveira. He was their national treasure. And Oliveira was responsible for a lot of that kind of stuff happening because they loved Oliveira. And then you lose the star player, and then there is a scandal. That's obviously not very good for the national scene. Bottom left side, guys. Ley Lines took off the jacket, flexing his new jersey. It is Reynor. Top right side. Diesen Mann hat geautobahnt. Der fickt, ey. Wirklich geil. Shopify Rebellion's Lambo. Sehr gut. Ja. Sehr, sehr gut. Sehr gut geautobahnt. Du hast ein wirklich schönes Autobahn, mein Freund. Ich hoffe, du kannst mich vielleicht trainieren. Also so Autobahnen. Ja. Vielleicht hat ihr Lust, mit mir auf Autobahn zu gehen. Heute Abend. Okay, I should go to bed. I don't know what's wrong with me. That's it. I'm done. We hang in there for 8 hours and 21 minutes, but I'm officially done. There's rumors of an offline event in China at the end of 2025. That'd be fun. They asked me last time to come. But then they're like, we can't pay you. But if you want to come for nothing, 1 week in China. It's like, I did when I was 18 and 19 and 20 and 21, 22. But a little tough to justify when you're 38. I guess my German skills are basically local Krefeld. No, my German was quite good. When I lived in Cologne in 2010, 2011, 2012, I did all the company meetings auf Deutsch. But it's just something you have to practice. And if you haven't practiced it properly for like 10 or 15 years, then obviously it's going to get a bit worse. But I understand a lot. Aber ich kann nur Kindersprachen. Ja. No, I don't see it like that, Legion. I know that it comes from a good place. It's, you know, a lot of these products are passion driven, and I get that, but like, for instance, when Gabe asked me to come to Cologne, and he's like, I can't pay you, but, you know, it would be awesome if you come, Roddy. Of course, I will do that for Gabe, right? I can just sit there, I can yap, we can cast together. It's like a 2.5 hour drive. Like, I will never say, like, oh, Gabe, no, you need to pay me money. Like, that'd be shitty behavior to a friend. But like a 2-hour drive or a 14-hour flight is a bit of a difference. Yeah. Thank you, Drizzle, for the 102 months. Both players have made a decent amount of link bane. I don't know if we're missing any sneaky bane links somewhere. Reynor is hiding a few links in the bottom right side. That would be a lot of banes, by the way. I think those are just looking for the run by. Hopefully I will have an answer to that question in the near future, Jens. I know that it's taking a little while. There are a lot of moving parts right now within Basilisk. Unfortunately, at the moment, the only way to get your hands on a Serral or a Reynor jersey is to go to an event where I'm at, or Chris is at, or Hans is at, or the players are at, and we do giveaways. There is no way to buy them. Anybody that you see with Basilisk merchandise either made it themselves, which I cannot encourage, by the way, or got it from us at an event. When do you plan to announce BBB number 100? I've already thought about it, mate, but I really want to do something with the Basilisk guys. And I don't know when they're available, so we will see. Lings and Banes of Reynor snuck into the natural of Lambo. Lambo's out of position. That is a lot of Lings running. Uh-oh, that's actually just 2 Banelings. There's so many drones in the main, but one of the Banelings has been picked off. Monstrous snipe there by Lambo, otherwise he's ultra dead. I mean, he's still in a lot of trouble now. This is just not looking that good. We were just so far out of position. Serral was definitely invited. Serral was always invited. I think Serral just declined it. Serral doesn't love traveling that much, and one event is enough. I'm afraid for Lambo, guys, that this semifinals is coming to a bit of a sad ending. Like, this game just was so far out of position. Lost a lot of mining time. Didn't really have an answer for all those Lings and Banes sneaking into the natural. Reynor overall looking very good in this best of 5. He did get autobound once, but other than that, clean performance by Reynor. I'm sure he's got a little PTSD right now, running roaches to the other side of the map on ley lines. He's like, but he shakes off that horrific memory immediately, and he gets the W. 3-1 advances to the upper bracket final, and it's going to be Kid versus Kid, as that is how they address one another. Reynor Clem, upper bracket, a semi-final. I'm just gonna settle the prediction immediately. You just threw a banger game against Creator? It's like official tourney, or are you just laddering? Where are you playing Creator? And this is gonna be a big series. A very big series. You guys believed in the Italian stallion, and he delivers. He continues to look good. Upper bracket final, Reynor versus Clem. Reynor, Ita Z, World Champ 2021. WC 2021? No, that's kind of like toilet, no? We'll just go like this. Or Clem, a French tea. Maybe I can do like liquid. Liquid, Clem. Basilisk Reynor. I'll give you guys 30 minutes, because I have no idea when this starts. I really hope this is a best of 5. And not a best of 7. Upper bracket finals. Whoever wins here guarantees themselves top 2. I expect this game to start in anything between 15 and 20 minutes from now. That is what I'm expecting. We can take a little look at the bracket together.